Phalaenopsis Blume, known as the moth orchid, abbreviated Phal in the horticultural trade, is an orchid genus of approximately 60 species. Phalaenopsis is one of the most popular orchids in the trade, through the development of many artificial hybrids. It is native to southern China, the Indian Subcontinent, Southeast Asia, New Guinea, the Bismark Archipelago, and Queensland. Description: the generic name means Phalan, like, and is probably a reference to the genus Phalaena, the name given by Carl Linnaeus to a group of large moths. The flowers of some species supposedly resemble moths in flight. For this reason, the species are sometimes called moth orchids. They are native throughout Southeast Asia from the Himalayan mountains to the islands of Palawan, Palawan and Zamboanga del Norte in the island of Mindanao in the Philippines and northern Australia. Orchid Island of Taiwan is named after this genus. Little recent information about their habitat and their ecology in nature is available since little field research has been done in the last decades. Most are epiphytic shade plants. A few are lithophytes. In the wild, some species grow below the canopies of moist and humid lowland forests, protected against direct sunlight. Others grow in seasonally dry or cool environments. The species have adapted individually to these three habitats. Possessing neither pseudobulbs nor rhizome, Phalaenopsis shows a monopodial growth habit. A single growing stem produces one or two alternate, thick, fleshy, elliptical leaves a year from the top, while the older, basal leaves drop off at the same rate. If very healthy, a Phalaenopsis plant can have up to 10 or more leaves. The inflorescence, either a raceme or panicle, appears from the stem between the leaves. They bloom in their full glory for several weeks. If kept in the home, the flowers may last 2 to 3 months. Some Phalaenopsis species in Malaysia are known to use subtle weather cues to coordinate mass flowering. Classification: the genus can be classified into two groups: a group of species with a long, branched inflorescence and large, almost round flowers with rose or white tints. A group of species with short stems and less rounded, waxy flowers with more pronounced colors. In terms of Rauncea, a plant life form terminology, these plants are epiphytes. Based on DNA evidence, the general Deriitis Lindell and Kingidium P.F. Hunt are now included in Phalaenopsis, according to the World Checklist of selected plant families. However, not every specialist in this field accepts these taxonomic changes. Intensive cross-fertilization has produced a great number of hybrids in all colors and variations. These are usually more adaptable to artificial conditions than their botanical ancestors. Many are hybrids of Phalaenopsis amabilis, Phalaenopsis schilleriana or Phalaenopsis stewartiana. Species: Phalaenopsis amabilis, Phalaenopsis amabilis subsp. Amabilis. Phalaenopsis amabilis subsp. Amabilis forma grandiflora. Phalaenopsis amabilis subsp. Moluccana. Phalaenopsis amabilis subsp. rosenströmi. Phalaenopsis amboinensis. Phalaenopsis amboinensis var amboinensis. Phalaenopsis amboinensis var flavida. Phalaenopsis aphrodite. Phalaenopsis aphrodite subsp. Aphrodite. Phalaenopsis aphrodite subsp. Formosana. Phalaenopsis appendiculata. Phalaenopsis bastiani. Phalaenopsis bellina. Phalaenopsis boniensis. Phalaenopsis bracciana. Phalaenopsis bisoniana, Phalaenopsis kelbensis, Phalaenopsis chiba. Phalaenopsis cochlearis, Phalaenopsis corningiana, Phalaenopsis cornusilvae, Phalaenopsis deliciosa, Phalaenopsis deliciosa subsp. Deliciosa, Phalaenopsis deliciosa subsp. Hookeriana, Phalaenopsis deliciosa subsp. ɛfælɨ́nensis. Phalaenopsis doweria nsis. Phalaenopsis equestris, Phalaenopsis equestris var alba, Phalaenopsis equestris var aurantiacum, Phalaenopsis equestris f. Aurea rchbf, 1850, Phalaenopsis equestris var. Coerulia, Phalaenopsis equestris f. Cyanitula rchbf, 1850, Phalaenopsis equestris var. Phalaenopsis equestris var. Phalaenopsis equestris var. Rosie RCHBF, 1850. Phalaenopsis fasciata. Phalaenopsis fimbriata. Phalaenopsis florescensis. Phalaenopsis fuscata, Phalaenopsis gibbosa. Phalaenopsis gigantea. Phalaenopsis hainanensis. Phalaenopsis hieroglyphica. Phalaenopsis hieroglyphica var. Alba. Phalaenopsis honginensis. Phalaenopsis inscriptiosinensis, Central Sumatra. Phalaenopsis javanica. Phalaenopsis consuleri. Phalaenopsis lamellifera. Phalaenopsis lindinii. Phalaenopsis lindinii var. Alba. Phalaenopsis loba. Phalaenopsis lowia. Phalaenopsis luedemaniana. Phalaenopsis luedemaniana var. Delicata, Phalaenopsis luedemaniana var. Ocratia. Phalaenopsis luteola. Phalaenopsis maculata. Phalaenopsis malapoensis zjlu and sc chen, Phalaenopsis mania. Phalaenopsis mariae. Phalaenopsis mycolitza. Phalaenopsis modesta. Phalaenopsis mesorensis. Phalaenopsis palens. Phalaenopsis pantherina. Phalaenopsis parishii. Phalaenopsis patelocea, Phalaenopsis philippinensis. Phalaenopsis pulcherrima. Formerly classified as Deritis. Phalaenopsis pulchra. Phalaenopsis pulchra var. Alba. Phalaenopsis regneriana. Phalaenopsis reichenbachiana. Phalaenopsis robinsoneri. Phalaenopsis sanderiana. Phalaenopsis sanderiana var. Alba, Phalaenopsis sanderiana var. Marmorita. Phalaenopsis schilleriana. Phalaenopsis schilleriana var immaculata. Phalaenopsis speciosa. Phalaenopsis stobitiana, Phalaenopsis stewartiana. Phalaenopsis stewartiana var nobilis, Phalaenopsis stewartiana var. Punctatissima. Phalaenopsis sumatrana. Phalaenopsis tenalis, Phalaenopsis tetraspes. Phalaenopsis venosa. Phalaenopsis violacea. Phalaenopsis viridis. Phalaenopsis wilsonii. Phalaenopsis zebrina. Natural hybrids, Phalaenopsis amphitricha, Phalaenopsis jersneyi, Phalaenopsis hieroglyphica, luedemaniana, Phalaenopsis intermedia, Phalaenopsis intermedia var. Diza. Phalaenopsis leucada, Phalaenopsis rothschildiana, Phalaenopsis ex schilleriano stewartiana, Phalaenopsis singular flora, Phalaenopsis veitchiana. Intergeneric hybrids. The following genera have been established for intergeneric hybrids, which include species of Phalaenopsis as ancestors. Arabidopsis, Arachnopsis, Ascanopsis, Beardara, Bogadara, Boxunara, Clisnopsis, Divaeuxera, Diplanopsis, Dorielapsis, Dorotaenopsis, Dresslerera, Edera, Ernstara, Urainopsis, Haderera, Hausamanara, Hymoriara, Isura, Lacocara, Legtera, Luinopsis, Lutherera, Massacara, Mikaira, Moirara, Nakagora, Oensra, Parnara, Paulera, Papera, Philamorianda, Phalaenopsis, Phalaenetia, Phælula, Phalaenopsis, Phalaenopsis, Paraphalaenopsis, Pulera, Rhinanthopsis, Rhinonopsis, Rhindoropsis, Reichhardmezuara, Razira, Saponara, Sarconopsis, Cedronara, Sladera, Stomareara, Sutingra, Troutera, Trevorara, Trionopsis, Uptonara, Vandaenopsis, Vandawifera, Yapara, Eupengra. Post-pollination changes. In Phalaenopsis orchids, Phalaenopsis are unique in that in some species, the flowers turn into green leaves after pollination. As in many other plants, the petals of the orchid flowers serve to attract pollinating insects and protect essential organs. Following pollination, petals will usually undergo senescence because it is metabolically expensive to maintain them. In many Phalaenopsis species, such as P. violacea, the petals and sepals find new uses following pollination, thus escaping programmed cell death. In producing chloroplasts, they turn green, become fleshy and apparently start to photosynthesize, as leaves do. Growing Phalaenopsis. Phalaenopsis are among the most popular orchids sold as potted plants, owing to the ease of propagation and flowering under artificial conditions. They were among the first tropical orchids in Victorian collections. Since the advent of the tetraploid hybrid Phalaenopsis doris, they have become extremely easy to grow and flower in the home, as long as some care is taken to provide them with conditions that approximate their native habitats. Their commercial production has become an industry. In nature, Phalaenopsis species are typically fond of warm temperatures around 20 to 35 degrees Celsius, but are adaptable to conditions more comfortable for human habitation in temperate zones. At temperatures below 18 degrees Celsius, overwatering causes root rot. Phalaenopsis requires high humidity and low light of 12,000 to 20,000 lux. However, Phalaenopsis orchids can adapt to the lower humidity found in most homes. They are also typically hardier than other species of orchids, and this makes them particularly popular among first-time orchid growers. The flower spikes appear from the pockets near the base of each leaf. The first sign is a light green mitten-like object that protrudes from the basal leaf tissue. Over about 3 months the spike elongates until it begins to swell fat buds which will bloom. It was previously believed that flowering is triggered by a nighttime drop in temperature of around 5 to 6 degrees over 2 to 4 consecutive weeks, usually in the fall, and a daytime drop in temperature to below 29 degrees Celsius. Using 2 Phalaenopsis clones, Matthew G. Blanchard and Eric S. Runkle established that, other culture conditions being optimal, flower initiation is controlled by daytime temperatures declining below 27 degrees Celsius, with a definite inhibition of flowering at temperatures exceeding 29 degrees Celsius. The long-held belief that reduced evening temperatures control flower initiation in Phalaenopsis is shown to be false. Rather, lower daytime temperatures influence flowering, while nighttime temperatures do not appear to have any effect. Ecology. In Phalaenopsis, phenylpropanoid enzymes are enhanced in the process of plant acclimatization at different levels of photosynthetic photon flux. References. Original publication by Carl Blume and B. Dragentot de Flora van Nederlandsch India, Sun Kim, Clifford W. Morden, Yuneo Sagawa, and J. Young Kim. The Phylogeny of Phalaenopsis species. Proceedings of NIOC 2003, Nagoya, Japan. Olaf Gruss and Manfred Wolf, Phalaenopsис. Edition Ulmer, ISBN 3-8001-6551-1, Eric A. Christensen, Phalaenopsis, a monographer. ISBN 0-88192-494-6, Harper, Tom. Phalaenopsis Culture, Advice for Growing 20 Species. Orchids Magazine 73. Delray Beach, Florida, American Orchid Society, 2004. Leroy Turcombe, Gerald and Jean Parasot 1991. Orchids, Care and Cultivation. London, Castle Publishers Limited. Scosa, Gustav. 1993. Orchid Growing Basics. New York, Sterling Publishing Company, Incorporated. White, Judy 1996. Tylora Euro Unregistered Trademark S Guide to Orchids. Francis Tenenbaum, Series Editor. New York, Houghton Mifflin, ISBN 0395677262. External links, media related to Phalaenopsis at Wikimedia Commons, data related to Phalaenopsis at Wikispecies, Phalaenopsis orchids are species in primary hybrids, Phalaenopsis orchid care instructions, Open Directory Project Phalaenopsis category.